The latest Critical Role leaves the cast in tears, Dimension 20 gets its own TTRPG, and Tusk Love the Novel is actually real?
That better be smutty.
Smut alert!
Oscar!
Welcome to Fantasy News Friday on the Character Sheet, where we break down the biggest fantasy and TTRPG news stories of the week. Before we get started, why not take a second to hit those like and subscribe buttons to help us keep this channel growing, and then let's dive into the news. Critical Role pulled no punches in what could be the final appearance of Vox Machina in Campaign 3. And while they may have achieved their objective, they did not get the happy ending everyone was hoping for. The battle at the Malleus Key was brutal, with a new Rylorian big bad named Ozo Cruz and his two massive monster companions giving Vox Machina major problems. At one point, Ozo actually killed Vex, leaving Percy enraged and the cast in shock before Pike used her level 20 cleric ability, Divine Intervention, to bring Vex back to life. Grog also got revenge when he caved in Ozo's chest with his blood axe, and then shoved his Titan gauntlets inside the wound and turned the now dead Rylorian into a hand puppet. Scanlan, despite still being a centaur, had some MVP moments where he used Scanlan's hand to dislodge the power source of the Malleus Key and untether it to Ruidus, and then magically dominated the massive siege insect that Ozo brought with him, called a Vidulch, so the party could focus down the Rylorian and his other monster, which was basically one of the worms from Dune. And Keyleth did finally get Vax out of that damn orb near the end of the fight, so we had the Malleus Key shut down, Vax returned, and the one death in the party reversed. But the episode still ended in tears when Vax revealed nothing had changed from before. He couldn't stay with Keyleth, and the Matron of Ravens and her angels were calling him back to the fight against Predathos.
I'll still be here, I guess.
He was given one night to spend with Keyleth and to finally meet his nieces and nephews, but Keyleth and Marisha were left in tears, as was most of the cast, at the sheer unfairness of it all, and the way that Keyleth and Vax just never can have that happy ending.
It's like, I feel so bad for Keyleth.
No, it's so not fair to her.
In fact, the cast was so outraged that they very seriously began discussing once again that maybe it was time for them all to join Team Free Predathos, and just let it chow down on the Matron of Ravens to finally free Vax, and give Keyleth the happy ending she's been denied for 3 decades. So if we do see Vox Machina one more time in this campaign, it may be as their helping Bell's Hells unleash the God Eater.
It'd be a shame if something happened to the gods while he was down.
I know.
He was
That's
stuck
why I'm
here.
saying, like, maybe it's better if he
Bless
just
you.
goes away.
Dimension 20 is releasing its own TTRPG. The hit Actual Play has just released their official rules for the homebrewed version of Kids on Bikes that they use for their insane Never Stop Blowing Up campaign earlier this year, designed by Brennan Mulligan and some fellow Dimension 20 staffers. Even better, the new system is available for free on the Dropout store right now. While the producers of the game warned that it was not really tested for anything beyond a single Dimension 20 campaign, they do stress that it should at least be extremely fun before everything starts breaking down. In fact, as revealed in an article on Polygon, producer Carlos Luna said they actively turned down advice from game designers because, quote, "That would be such a great and reasonable addition, and I'm sure it would lead us to a more balanced and cohesive game, but it would also stop us from blowing up, and this system only cares about one thing: never stop blowing up." So if you want to start blowing up your home game, check out the free rules for Never Stop Blowing Up on the Dropout store today. The Star Trek Adventures role-playing game is getting a brand new starter set for 2nd edition. The RPG, which is being published by Modiphius, will feature everything you need to run an adventure for 3 to 7 players, and pick up all the core rules of the Star Trek Adventures 2nd edition. The set includes a 48-page rulebook, 7 pre-generated characters to choose from, and their character sheets, plus a character sheet for the Constitution-class starship the party will be using. There's also a 60-page campaign booklet which contains the 3-part campaign for the party to play through, and lots of 20-sided dice, tokens, and reference sheets to make learning and playing through the campaign even easier. This set is available for pre-order now for just over $30 US and is expected to ship out this December.
It's about damn time.
Trench Crusade's Kickstarter has ended with over $3.3 million raised by over 20,000 backers, making it the biggest tabletop miniatures game on Kickstarter this year, and setting it up as one of the most credible new challengers to the Warhammer 40k throne in some time. The creators of Trench Crusade took to Kickstarter to let fans know that this massive support means they'll start planning out new content for years, as well as having hit every single stretch goal they put forward, including new stories from well-known Warhammer Black Library authors like Graham McNeil, sprues for additional weapons and model options, and of course additional miniatures. With 6 factions available at release, the game is coming out fully formed, unlike many tabletop Kickstarters that only launch with 2 or 3 factions to pick from and then slowly trickle the rest out over time. So if you're interested in grimdark tabletop action, keep an eye on their Kickstarter page to see if Trench Crusade late pledges will open up this month.
Come with me. Come on.
And finally, Critical Role is making the Tusk Love novel a reality, and has found an amazing author to bring the novel to life. Tusk Love, which was referenced many times in the Mighty Nine campaign, and even made appearances in The Legend of Vox Machina, has been a fan favorite meme for years, with Jester often comparing her romance with Ford to the romance between Oscar and Guinevere in Tusk Love, sometimes even slipping up and calling Ford Oscar. But now the novel is real, with a real release date from Penguin Random House, and with author Sia Guanzan, best known for the Hurricane Wars, slated to write it. The novel, which features the merchant's daughter Guinevere forced to rely on help from the aloof, wandering half-orc warrior Oscar after he saves her from a bandit attack on her caravan, is scheduled for release on July 1st, 2025, and has all the makings of some truly fantastic fantasy smut. So if you want to see how Guinevere and Oscar deal with their, quote, spark between them that sizzles with promise, and the flames of their passion, you can pre-order your copy from major book retailers everywhere. That's all we have this week on Fantasy News Friday. Let us know what your favorite story was in the comments, and don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons.